discover one of the most commonly misunderstood truths about what genuinely turns women on? It's not having chiseled abs, it's not about the flashy car, and it's definitely not smooth talk alone. It's boundaries. That's right. Firm, rooted, unapologetic boundaries. And here's the reality. Most men never truly figure this out. Boundaries don't push women away, they draw them in. But I'm not referring to fake alpha energy or any manipulative mind games. I'm talking about genuine masculine boundaries, the kind built from deep self-respect, unwavering purpose, and a clear sense of identity. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through 6 specific boundaries that ignite subconscious attraction in women. Not through dominance, but through grounded presence. These aren't about playing power games, they're clarity signals, and when you hold them with confidence, something shifts inside her. She feels it, she respects it, she responds to it. Make sure you stick around, especially for boundary number 6, because that one doesn't just safeguard your personal power, it completely reshapes how she views you, and even more surprisingly, how she perceives herself when she's with you. So let's get into it. Boundary 1. The unavailable advantage. Your time belongs to you. That's the first and probably the most powerful boundary you can ever establish. Initially, this one feels risky. You don't respond to her messages right away. You don't drop everything the moment she calls. You don't overhaul your entire schedule just to make yourself available for her on short notice. Your mind panics. Won't she think I don't care? Won't she lose interest? Won't she run off with someone more responsive? Actually, it works the other way. When you're not constantly available, you communicate something powerful, not through words, but through your energy. My time holds value. My life already has motion, direction, and meaning. She's entering into something already thriving. That subtle tension she senses, the uncertainty about where she fits, it creates magnetic pull. Because being always available screams one thing: I have nothing else going on. Scarcity has always created value. And when a man becomes rare, he becomes irresistible. You're not chasing her, you're drawing her in simply by protecting the space of your own life. Be honest. Have you ever found yourself being too available and then watched her gradually pull away? If that's you, drop the word guilty in the comments, because this single shift can completely change your dating dynamic. Boundary 2. The no apology rule. Say no and mean it without feeling guilt. This boundary alone can shift everything. Here's a psychological twist most men overlook. How you say no carries far more weight than how often you say yes. Picture this. She invites you to something that doesn't align with your schedule or your current energy. You want to say no, but you feel that nervous pull, that fear of upsetting her. So you say, I'm really sorry. I've just got this thing. Maybe I can move it around. I'll try, I promise. You over-explain, you soften your stance, you dilute your truth until it hardly resembles a boundary at all. And trust me, she notices. Now compare that to this. Hey, I won't be able to make it, but I hope it goes well. Let's reconnect later this week. Polite, clear, confident. That's attractive. No fidgeting, no guilt. No asking for permission. You're simply owning your time. A man who can say no without shame doesn't just guard his calendar, he signals deep trust in himself. And in a world full of men who are trying to please everyone, that level of self-assurance, it's magnetic. Boundary 3. The respect reflex. Call out subtle disrespect and do it calmly. Most men assume disrespect is always loud. But the truth? It usually whispers. It hides in those tiny moments. The eye roll while you're speaking, the sarcastic comment about your job, that one joke in front of friends that cuts just a little too deep. Most guys brush it off. They convince themselves, she's just joking, it's no big deal. But here's what you need to realize. Letting those little things slide doesn't make you relaxed. It makes you invisible. Not to everyone. To her. Whether she's conscious of it or not, she's watching how you handle moments of disrespect. If you don't show that you respect yourself enough to address it, she won't respect you either. That doesn't mean you blow up or start lecturing. You stay centered. You look her in the eye and say, hey, I don't let people speak to me like that. That one calm, grounded line does what 1,000 sweet texts never will. It creates polarity. It shows her you're a man with standards, that being around you requires awareness, presence, and mutual respect. And here's the magic. When a woman sees you respecting yourself, she doesn't retreat. She actually softens. She becomes more feminine around you because you're holding the emotional frame. Have you ever let something slide and then felt off for the rest of the night? If so, drop the word frame in the comments, because those little moments reveal everything. Boundary 4. The calm test. Lead, don't react. Here's something that separates you from 99% of other men. A woman will test your emotional balance long before she trusts your emotional depth. And most men fail that test almost instantly. Here's how it shows up. She teases you, she makes a sarcastic remark, she brings up something controversial just to see how you respond. And what do most guys do? They get defensive, they over-explain, or they shut down entirely. What that tells her is simple: he's fragile, he doesn't know who he is, he can't handle pressure. But the man who stays calm, who hears the remark, pauses, smiles, and says something like, "That's cute. You always test guys this fast." That guy flips the script. Emotional control isn't about being cold, it's about being steady. And when she senses that you're not shaken, she relaxes, she feels safer, and she starts to wonder, what else is this man solid about? That curiosity, it pulls her in. While other men are out here trying to pass her tests, you become the one rewriting them as they unfold. Boundary 5. The authority silence. Decide, don't justify. Let's revisit something many men do without noticing. They over-explain, they try to sound agreeable, they draft 5-paragraph texts just to soften a simple no, they twist themselves into verbal pretzels just to avoid conflict. The problem? When you explain too much, you're not clarifying, you're seeking approval. Even if your words seem confident, the underlying energy comes off as uncertain. Take this example. "I can't make it tonight. I've had such a long week. Work's been crazy. I really need to rest. I hope that's okay. So sorry again." Now compare it to this. "Can't make it tonight. Let's catch up later this week." Huge difference. One man is seeking validation. The other is simply owning his truth. Real confidence? It's efficient. It doesn't ramble. It doesn't sugarcoat the truth with emotional padding. It just stands firm. So here's your rule. Say less, mean more. Let your presence speak louder than your justifications. Because the man who speaks clearly, then stays silent, holds far more power than the one who keeps trying to explain himself. She doesn't need the perfect explanation. She needs to feel the weight of your certainty. And when she does, that's when respect follows naturally. Boundary 6. The mission first code. This one changes the entire game. Ready? She joins your path. She doesn't become it. Sit with that for a moment, because a lot of men, even smart and ambitious ones, lose their grounding the moment a woman enters their life. They shift everything for her, their goals, their time, their mindset, just to keep her happy. And though she might appreciate the attention at first, something changes quickly. She begins to feel like your focus is no longer on your vision, but on her. She starts sensing that your mission is now her. And when that happens, the polarity dissolves. But here's the truth. She doesn't want to become your whole world. She wants to join a world that's already in motion. She wants to be beside a man who's driven, with or without her. When that's who you are, you become the center of gravity. She orbits around your momentum. And that shift is what turns a man she dates into the man she can't stop thinking about. So ask yourself, what's your mission? What are you actually building? And do your daily actions prove it? Because a man who wakes up with purpose, guards his focus, and lives for something larger than himself, he doesn't chase women. Women are drawn toward his direction. What are your views on this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I will personally read all of your comments. And if you seriously want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Stay strong. Until next time.